So that's the theory. One hit, one fish. Throw bigger lures like the G2 series glide baits. Target bigger fish. We're on. Just come down. Oh, that's a good fish. Sam, you might want to pass me the net, please, and come up here, buddy. Come up, you see his fish. So we're casting the G2 series in the sinking. Now this is a very nice fish. We've been fishing for about 5 minutes. So, the idea of this film is, we're making a movie about upsizing your flathead and target big flathead. It was literally 1:45, probably go back a bit, bro. It was 1:45, I was at home, feeling a little bit so-so, and I thought I'm going to go to Lake Tides. It's going to be a cracking night. I'm going to spot lock here, and we've literally been fishing for 10 minutes, and the idea is fish big bait like the G2. Theory is one hit, one fish. That's what we're here to do. Now, this girl came up so easy. Now that's a fish. That's got to be a fish in its 90s there. Look at the size of that sucker. So the idea of the video, what we're trying to get people to do and show areas and what we do is we're targeting big fish only. By all means, you can break your PB by fishing normal soft plastic soft drop-offs, but we're going to go through the gear that we use and why we target these bigger fish in this area, and that is just unbelievable. So that's the theory. One hit, one fish. Throw bigger lures like the G2 series glide baits. Target bigger fish. Fish said, we'll go through some spots why we believe big fish sit where we're fishing, but that is an unbelievable start, and there's a reason why I chose to come down here tonight, which we'll go through that a little bit later. Now if we get the pleasure, oh, she went 93 centimetres. So I tipped 94 chunky, it went 93. All right there, bro? Now we've looked after this fish really well. Can you see her? Yep. Look at the size of that thing. Absolute beautiful creatures. Beautiful creatures. 93 centimetres of Lake Tyers dusky. We've not even got prime time yet to fish. Look at the cut. Oh, there she goes. Now we're going to keep targeting. I got my PB 2.5 weeks ago, by 3 weeks off 97.5. One fish, one hit. We're going to up that. We're going to give it a go to try and up that. Sammy, your turn, brother. Let's go. Is that still filming?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a good fish.
That's a good fish.
Oh, look at the come up, bro. Yeah. There's what we've been using. Reel it in, G2 series glide bait and Borrott. We named it Borrott because that was my, I hate saying this, my late younger brother's nickname. I used to call him Borrott. So we released a lure called Borrott last year. Pearl white was the go. So in the Borrott in the G2 series, we have the G2 mini series. We have the G2 in the big glide baits like you've seen the big boys before. This is G2 Borrott in floating series. We've now brought out floating series, which is perfect for that 1/2 metre of water. And this is Borrott in sinking. With Lake Tyers at flood point, we're in 1.8 metres. Normally, you'll have guys here land-based fishing, sitting on chairs. We're up there. Could not believe there was no weed. Borrott! Love you, brother. Miss ya. Love you. I'm not going to let her go till she bites on my finger and says, put me back. It's why we spot lock these things. And we release her back here because there's a reason why she's sitting down here. Put her back to where you got. If you don't have spot lock, you can't help that. She's starting to bite on my thumb now. Ready, steady. Gonna push her away. Yes! PB. I've hit 95.5 to 94 7 times. Finally have got my PB. We're on again. 5 minutes after the 93, we've got another fish that looks potentially, you know, 70s. I had a big hit. It's actually come up and jagged it. It wouldn't be 80s. It's going to be a fish in its 70s for sure. You see that lure there? The white. Oh. There she is. So you got the white. The water's very dark, which is why we're choosing the white. Dark water, that's got to be a fish in his 70s. We literally I just had a hit. Said, oh Sam, I said come over this side too. And we actually both cast out to the same area. And I said, mate, this should come back for another feed, and it did. So, all right, there's the lure. Again, for some people, there's a PB straight away. One hit, one fish, big lure.
So we're casting our glide baits right up to the bank edge. Water level's really high, and there's so much bait sitting amongst those trees and reeds, and that's where we're targeting for these big flathead with our glide baits. It's early morning, it's another cracking day, and there's no reason why we shouldn't see a good fish with what we're doing. Just working this bank here. We're in about 1.8 metres of water. By the time we cast towards those reeds, we're in about 1 metre. And just bringing it back. It's what we mentioned yesterday about why I came down. 5 days after the full moon. It normally fishes pretty good. So don't normally like to chase flathead on the full moon, but 3 or 4 days before and then 3 or 4 days after generally is good fishing. So that's why I sort of decided last night was a good idea to come down and try.
Okay, so as I said, we're at Lake's entrance now, North Arm. Throwing this, what we've been catching last night, the 93, the 72, on the G2 series sinking Borrott colour, pearl with the UV orange. We're in about 1.7 metres of water, so it's perfect for this size lure. When we get to about 1.2, if it's weedy, we'll chuck on the G2 Mini. So now when we're using a sinking glide bait as big as this, we have a decent amount of leader. We'll explain our leader later and why we have a longer length, because then on our floating G2 series we have a shorter leader. There is a reason why, which we'll go through some of that stuff. So we've obviously got a rod that can handle the lure. We just cast out as far as you possibly can. That big commotion on the water is great. It no doubt attracts things. They're used to mullet and tailor jumping, so that will attract. So we let it sit there for about 10-15 seconds so that it sinks down. Hopefully things are coming into it. And then all we're doing to retrieve is just a really slow wind. And as we're winding that glide bait slowly, it's darting back like that. And then every now and again I'll give a bit of a twitch, and that just rolls that lure over like that. So nice and slow. It's not a fast retrieve. Really slow. Twitch also helps the lure to get down a bit to the depth, and we just repeat that. Now we mentioned earlier about leaders with our glide baits, and we mentioned why on the sinking glide bait we have the longer leader, about 1.2 to 1.5. Then on a floating glide bait we have about 500 to about 700. That's because fluorocarbon actually sinks in the water. So if we want our glide bait to sink down to about 1.82 metres, the more leader we got, the leader's going to sink itself as well as the glide bait and get it down quicker. Where if we're using a floating glide bait and we want to just go across the edge, the shorter leader it doesn't allow that to sink too much. So that's why we use our different leaders. I personally run between 16 to 20 pound for my glide baits. Some people will go 30. I have lost some with 16 to 20. That's just part of fishing, going for big fish. Our rods too, we normally have about a 4,000 size reel. We've just got a rod that we know can handle, that can flick out the bigger glide baits. So that's what we're looking for. And that's the reason, that's the sort of leader we use. About 8 pound braid, you don't need too much. You're not really fishing structure. So that's how we do it. It's good fish. Spot lock, can you? Please.
I've turned it off at the moment.
It's 90s.
It's nice dude. Come on.
Yeah!
Borrott.
Borrott! On our way to Narooma. Borrott has done it again for Troy. We're just about to move spots. That's got to be a fish. Oh, it's going to push 90.
Push 90.
It's going to be 80s. Look at that sucker, eh? So you can see the lure in the net there. The G2 series Borrott. I've had a great season so far catching these fish. So we'll get a quick measurement, get a couple of photos, and we'll get it back in the water quick as we possibly can. There, so she's gone 85. So that's up there. 85 centimetre, and they've all hit the fish at the boat, so it's pretty amazing. We haven't had a photo yet, so I actually want to get this fish in here and we'll come back and get a photo. But so it just shows with these glide baits, these flathead will follow it all the way up. Amazing. And this is the favourite part of this, putting them back. We've looked after her. Okay. There she goes. Ready, Scotty? Oh yeah! That's why we travel so far for this. Many times now we're finding that you're just doing a slow wind and just a little twitch here and there, and they've, as I mentioned earlier, Scott and I have both had big hits, and that fish hit the lure probably about there, which just shows they're just following them up. As they're gliding, as those glide baits are coming up to the surface there, those big flathead are right behind it watching, and obviously when it's about to leave the water, the big girl's going, no, that's my snack please. So showing, just don't rush to retrieve, use every spare foot you got. Really slow that lure down when you get close to the boat. Generally we flick the lure in and we wind it in fast to recast, but just showing, especially with glide baits, slow it down, bring it right back to the boat, because you just don't know what's lurking behind. What do you got to say for yourself, old tailor catcher? Scotty hooked up too.
Well, while Troy was mucking around with that fish, I thought I'd have a cast and hooked up straight away. I was waiting for it to load up with some decent weight, but it was just a tailor. It's a bit disappointing. But these are the guys. This is the Borrott colour, which has been awesome this year. This is the sinking one. Comes in the floating one as well, but because we're fishing around that, we're really targeting that depth. We're a little bit deep at the moment. We can cast back in of about 1.5 metres, and this has just got that nice slow sink, and then comes in over the top of the sand or the weed. There's a few like shrubs and stuff because the water's up so high. A few shrubs in there, but it's mostly sand and mud. If we were fishing maybe a bit shallow, we would use the floating one, but these sinking ones have been great this season. That's now nearly probably a dozen good fish on them, isn't it? Just on this colour this summer.
Crazy.
Been
Crazy.
Really good.
Crazy season. Crazy. So we've hooked up again.
like we thought we would tonight. Hit pretty well, it's a nice fish. Oh, it feels very teethy. Oh yeah, it's another quality frog. Oh, da, 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 da. Come on, please, please. Yes. Oh, Borrott, you sexy devil. You sexy beast, Borrott. Oh, yeah, I thought so. I thought it felt different. It nailed that. Look at that.
I reckon that's a better fish too.
Yep. Oh, it's fatter.
Yeah, it's a better fish.
Wow, wee. Flippin' heck, Borrott, baby. Borrott, baby. You sexy little devil. Yeah, I knew it felt different because it had it in its mouth. I could feel the ding ding from the leader. So, glide bait fishing.
Absolute pearler of an evening. A couple of nice hits and now this second fish.
Okay, so second big girl for the night. We did say earlier with that moon we were confident we're going to see one. I think she's definitely a fatter fish. She is. She will go 86. So just the 1 centimetre bigger. So
definitely a bigger fish.
A lot fatter. Yeah. Look at the size of the girth on that bad girl. So I love them. G2 Borrott series, the G2 series. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just having an unbelievable time at the moment with these fish. Biting on the thumb. They're in such healthy condition. I'll just hold her there for a little bit. She's going to go. Ready, bud? Yep. Whew. Having a season on those suckers. Having a season. Whew. So it's been a bit of a slower morning. We've actually got a very nice fish on here. Again with the G2 series Borrott. It's got to be a fish again. Pushing over. Oh no. So it has been a grind today. We're coming into late afternoon. We've had a nice hit and that fish there. So the wind's picked up, so hopefully we can get a chance to fish later on and give it a good crack. Said we've dropped 3 quality fish today. 2 at the boat, 80s, and another one that I believe was bigger in a 10-minute opportunity. So they just came on the bite for 10 minutes. Could have been, should have been, could have been a hero today. But we're not. We're going to keep grinding and see how we go. As you can see the bottom, hopefully through the GoPro. Sand, a little bit of shell, weed. That's where they're sitting amongst. Beautiful. Hear the birds in the background, they're laughing at Scott. I think he's a bit of a funny fella. So, cracking morning. So it's another beautiful morning. There's the new moon, 2 days out now. So that's why we're fishing. It's going to be a beautiful morning out here. Got great conditions. We're fishing the same area where we fished last night. So we're going to push right up to that bank. Start from where those reeds are down there in about 1.5 metres. With the lake so high, all the bait fish are hiding amongst the reeds and amongst those trees there. A lot of gar, a lot of mullet, the shrimp will be in there, all little glassies. So let's go and target that bank. Let's see what we can find this morning.
Just picked up a smaller model here on the G2. Not very big. Just goes to show though how hungry these fish are and what they'll take. That's a 180 mil lure. And probably maybe a 60 centimetre fish. So not what we're chasing this morning, but it's a fish, it's a fish. So that's what we were saying, like it's amazing, it's a 180 mil, it's a high 50s fish. They will take them, so don't be afraid to use them. We're not what we're targeting today. You're going to get a lot more bigger fish, but this is, they'll still take these, so.
Now where we're going to target the next big fish is right behind me. We have a sand spit that comes out. Because at the moment the estuary is full, it's probably about 1.6 metres over that sand spit, but that sand spit is still structure, so fish will still be holding around the outsides and on top. At the moment, Lake Tyers is full of garfish, so I'm actually going to be throwing around this garfish here. So again, we're going to tempt the big fish with a big lure. We're going to hit that sand spit right now. Hopefully we can come back with some footage of a nice flathead. Let's do it. And we've caught a very nice fish. Very nice fish. I'm tipping it. Come up, Chucks, please. Come up, mate. Don't tip it's going to be a fish in the 80s.
Really?
See it there? So we've got a very nice fish. He hit hard.
Oh, it's lively.
Okay, I'll get you to step back, please, Chuggles. So as we mentioned earlier when we got that 64, I've chosen tonight being the new moon. We love targeting the new moon. We're in about 1.3 metres of water, and this girl's been well looked after. Spot lock, so she's going to go back where she wants. Here she goes. Ready, set, go.